John was a seasoned drone enthusiast, someone who had spent years navigating his small, nimble device through forests, mountains, and urban landscapes. For John, the thrill of exploration was everything, especially when it involved places that were off-limits. There was something about the forbidden that called to him, a siren song he couldn't resist. So when he stumbled upon an area that had long intrigued him, an untouched stretch of wilderness surrounded by a protected forest, he knew he had to explore it, one way or another. But hey, before we dive into the story, do yourself a favor and pause the video right now. Go hit that like button, and let's see if we can make this video reach 1,000 likes. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to your favorite story channel. Also make sure to ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the latest and weirdest stories. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming your way. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to be amazed as we take you on an unforgettable ride. Don't forget to engage with us in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Without further ado, let's dive right in. The area had been a mystery for as long as John could remember. A vast expanse of forest and mountains cordoned off by the local authorities. It was rumored to be home to all sorts of secrets. Some said it was a protected wildlife sanctuary, while others whispered about ancient ruins hidden deep within. Whatever the reason, the area was strictly off limits to the public, and John had never been one to let a sign dictate his actions. He knew better than to risk sneaking in himself. Instead, he decided to use his drone to explore the area from the sky. He had done this before in other restricted zones and had even managed to sell some of his footage to online buyers, making a tidy profit. But this time felt different. As he guided his drone over the thick canopy of trees, something caught his eye. A small, peculiar object perched on top of a rocky mountain in the heart of the protected area. It looked like a door, but not just any door. It was tiny and seemed to be made of old, weathered metal. John's curiosity flared. What was a door doing on a mountaintop in a place like this? He maneuvered the drone closer, trying to get a better look. But just as the drone neared the strange object, the screen on John's controller began to glitch. The image distorted, and within seconds the screen went black. He had lost all control. The last thing he saw was his drone spiraling down toward the base of the mountain. John was in a bind. Not only had he lost his expensive drone, but now he had a choice to make. He could report the drone as lost and move on, or he could do something far riskier. Go after it. The thought of his drone lying there, broken, while that mysterious door remained unexplored, was too much to bear. His desire to uncover the mystery outweighed his fear of getting caught. He decided to scale the fence and retrieve his drone, even if it meant venturing into the forbidden forest. The climb to the mountain was treacherous. What had appeared to be a straightforward ascent was anything but. The ground was unstable, and loose rocks tumbled down with every step. The further he climbed, the more he realized the magnitude of what he was doing. The forest was eerily silent, save for the occasional rustle of leaves. After an hour of grueling effort, he finally reached the base of the mountain. His drone was hanging from some vines, surprisingly intact. But instead of turning back, John felt a pull to continue. That door, hidden away on top of the mountain, was calling to him. Ignoring the voice in his head that told him this was a bad idea, he began his ascent up the steep rock face. The climb was even more challenging than he had anticipated. The mountain seemed to resist his efforts, its jagged rocks and hidden crevices making every step a gamble. As he climbed, he noticed strange etchings on the rocks, symbols that looked ancient, almost as if they were a warning. But John was too focused on his goal to pay them much attention. After what felt like an eternity, he finally reached the door. It was small, much smaller than he had imagined. The metal was corroded, and the door itself was half buried in the rock, as if it had been forgotten for centuries. The etchings continued on the door, intricate patterns that seemed almost otherworldly. John hesitated. Everything about this felt wrong, but his curiosity was stronger than his fear. He reached out and touched the door. The metal was cold, almost unnaturally so. With a deep breath, he pushed it open. The door creaked, revealing a narrow passage leading into the mountain. The air inside was musty, and the darkness was so thick it seemed to swallow the weak beam of his flashlight. John took a step inside. The walls of the passage were lined with more of those strange symbols, and the floor was uneven, made of rough stone that looked like it had been carved out long ago. As he moved deeper into the mountain, the passage began to widen, leading to a vast chamber that took his breath away. The room was enormous, with high ceilings that disappeared into the darkness above. The walls were covered in ancient murals, depicting scenes that John couldn't begin to understand. But what caught his eye were the artifacts scattered throughout the room. Rusted weapons, broken pottery, and pieces of faded cloth lay on pedestals, as if they had been left there as offerings. The room felt like a shrine, a place where something had once been worshipped. But what was it? And why had it been hidden away in this mountain? John's heart pounded as he explored the chamber. The deeper he went, the more unsettling the place became. It was as if the very air was charged with something malevolent, something that had been waiting for centuries to be disturbed. Suddenly a sound broke the silence. It was faint at first, like the echo of footsteps far away. John froze, his flashlight flickering in his trembling hand. The sound grew louder, closer, until it was clear that someone, or something, was in the chamber with him. He wasn't alone. Panic set in. John turned and ran, his footsteps echoing through the chamber as he made his way back to the narrow passage. The walls seemed to close in on him as he sprinted toward the exit, his mind racing with fear. He burst through the door and slammed it shut behind him, not daring to look back. But as he scrambled down the mountain, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The forest, once silent, was now alive with whispers, voices that seemed to come from the very trees themselves. The symbols on the rocks, the ancient murals, the artifacts, they all pointed to something terrible, something that had been locked away for a reason. John ran as fast as he could, not stopping until he was safely back in his car. His heart was pounding, his mind racing with what he had seen. He knew he had made a terrible mistake by entering the mountain, and he could only hope that whatever he had awakened would remain trapped within its stone walls. But deep down, he knew that wasn't the case. Something had followed him out of the mountain, something ancient and powerful. And as he drove away, the forest seemed to close in behind him, as if it was sealing the secret he had uncovered, a secret that was never meant to be found. In the days that followed, John couldn't escape the feeling of dread that hung over him. He deleted the footage from his drone, not wanting any trace of that place to remain. But the nightmares persisted, filled with the images of the murals and the whispers of the forest. He knew he had disturbed something that should have been left alone, and he feared that it was only a matter of time before it found him again. John had been drawn to the mystery of the mountain, but now he wished he had never set foot near it. Some secrets are meant to stay buried, and he had paid the price for his curiosity. The mountain still loomed in the distance, a silent guardian of the darkness within, and John knew that no one would ever believe what he had seen. But he would carry the memory with him forever, a reminder of the day he made the worst decision of his life.